Hi, everyone. I have not been ignoring all of you. Well, I guess I sort of have, but not because I was mad or anything, just because I was sick of talking about cancer. Um, so I'm like, heck no. I'm gonna take a break. I had two vlogs that have just sat on my phone for a while because, oh my God, if you feel like posting it, I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I just want to like go about life and just like pretend like nothing ever happened, but yeah, that's not so much in the cards. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Angry Rebellious purple lipstick that I got from my Hope Kit, which actually my Hope Kit was the last vlog that I think I posted on time. It is April. I'm just about 8 months post-op. Is that right? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, 8 months. Which seems like so long, like I have to count back, but I wouldn't be vlogging if there weren't something going on, so I'll cut to the chase. So the good things, it's funny because I have Tex here, and like Tex has turned into this like amoeba of stuff. Tex is super non-shaped. I don't know, I've been like squishing him up to my chest so much, and now he's just like a pretty chunky looking taco. Anyway, where am I? So the big news right now is I felt like I was doing better. I am slowing down physical therapy just because of insurance, and I don't have I don't have a lot of physical therapy appointments left. Insurance only gives you like X amount, and then they're like, you're healed. I will show you a couple of things. Like, I'm still very tight in here. My left side is basically back to normal again. You know, my right side, like I can pretty much go straight up and move out. Like I've got pretty decent range of motion, but it's still super, super tight in here. And next week I have my follow-up with plastics, which I haven't seen him in a really long time. So yeah, I'll update him on the frozen shoulder thing. I do feel like the frozen shoulder thing is better, but it's still so gummy in here. I don't know. One thing my physical therapist asked is, now that so much time has gone by, if it's okay if she does myofascial massage, like around the implant, just to loosen stuff up. Because before they're like, you know, don't massage near your boobs, you know, just don't go there. What I'm noticing now is I'm doing exercises more at home. I started doing yoga again. Definitely not hardcore yoga. I'm talking like shoulder roll yoga, you know, just like stretchy things and stuff to like hold positions, like put my arm out on a wall and go up and like hold it that way for like a minute, which is a lot. There's a yoga, there are on YouTube, there are free like mastectomy yoga videos. So I'm doing the one from like week 2 and 3, which seems ridiculous because I'm on like month 8. But the exercises that they're doing are kind of appropriate to where I am for my right side. And one of the things they had us do, or she had us do, was lay on our backs, which is still kind of weird, mostly because of the pressure here still. And then put your arms out like, and see how far of an angle you can go up. So I can go up to 90 easily on my back, but going up to like 120, I couldn't do it with my right arm. So it's 8 months, but you know, my body is what it is, and this is what it's doing. So, yeah, so my right side isn't like back to normal. It'll take time. I'm more patient with my body than I was. I get it's on its own timetable. I'm able to do much more than I could. Typing is still an issue. I still can't get through a workday without taking a break. I just can't I've tried different angles, I've tried pillows, I've tried different chairs, I've tried armrests, I've tried heightening or you know, making my armrests higher or lower or whatever, and it just, it hurts. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I went on my first airplane ride with the new, I don't even want to call them ladies, but I went on an airplane ride with these. I went to Chicago. and actually I went to Michigan and then drove to Chicago with my son. And I went in a pool for the first time. And that was interesting because I had to put a bathing suit on to go in the pool. So when I was packing, my bathing suits mostly are underwire. And I don't know if I had mentioned this before, but I tried, I have no old underwires left at all in my drawer. My old underwires were a loose C. I put it on my boob and like, let's see, here's my boob, and like the underwire went like this. So clearly the I don't know, what's the girth of my implants is much bigger than my flappy boobs that I had before, because they don't fit into those bras. So I got rid of all of them. I'm not so attached to the clothes anymore. I know it's money, but I'm not going nuts anymore with the Stitch Fix stuff. I have enough stuff to get me by. As the seasons are changing, I'm getting that things again are not fitting and I'm getting frustrated. But I just need a few pieces and then I'm fine. Like pants wise, I'm fine. It's just tops. Tops are tough. I still have, like, these are my tank tops, like my go-tos. One thing I need to bring up to plastics next week is that and I mentioned this in other vlogs, but by the time I get towards like a couple hours into the day, my clothes just start shifting this way. And I think on my last vlog, I was talking the whole time and it was like that, which was weird. I don't know. I still don't quite get what that's about. My right one does stick out a little bit more just because it's not as soft as the left one, but I'll ask plastics next week. So yeah, I went in a pool. Great for my shoulder, especially because the pool was kind of cold, like it was heated, but it was pretty chilly. But I was able to do stuff with my arm, not swim, but I was able to like do stuff with my shoulder that I could not do. And it was just, it felt amazing. Being in a bathing suit was, yeah. I have one bathing suit that was not underwire, that had kind of a deep cut here. And it's the only bathing suit I had that fit, but the top fit, because the other ones were underwire and they just don't work. I am able to get stuff over my head now, but the underwires just don't work. So I put the bathing suit on. I was happy that I didn't look like super chubby in them or in it. But it went down enough that you could see the inside part of my scars. And I was with my son and we're traveling. Like, I don't really care so much what other people think because I don't know who they are, but I had a cover up on, and I'm usually pretty comfortable with my body, and I was in the pool, my son was in the gym, and I said, like, I don't want to take the cover up off and go in the pool. Like, I want to go in the pool, but I'm like, I'm kind of like frozen here. I don't want to take my cover up off. And he's so good. He's 17. He's like, I'll be there in a minute. And I said to him, like, I'm like, if you see my scar and it freaks you out, I will just put the cover up back on. I don't want to talk too much about that because it's like personal, but anyway, I did eventually get in the pool without the cover up on. It was cold, like cold here, because like they're, you know, it's still, I'm getting some more feeling back, but overall they're like numb. I mean, you don't feel the implants. So they were like super cold. But the fact of them being buoyant was a weird, really weird feeling, because with them like not floating, but like they're buoyant and they're higher. It's, after a while it got painful with my pectoral muscles because they're like moving around so easily. And I'm not used to that. Long term, I think I've heard it's good anyway, but long term, I think it'll be good to get in a pool more frequently once the weather cooperates to do that, just so that things do loosen up a little bit more. And I just have to kind of get over myself about being in a pool where other people are obviously going to be there, and I might just get another bathing suit that has a higher thing, which pisses me off because I used to like show off my cleavage, and now I'm not super thrilled with my cleavage. And then on my left side again, and I'm going to bring this up to plastics, where my scar is, like, it's like, here's my scar, and then the edge of the implant seems to hit like right at the edge of it, and it's uncomfortable. So I actually started having pain, and I got out of the pool. But I went in the pool at 2 separate occasions. The second time, like, it wasn't a big deal for me to take my cover up off, so it was fine. And like, the weight gain is what it is. I've actually lost some weight. I don't know if you can tell. I've lost some weight. I'm doing Wii tennis. I can get through like a game of like 5 matches, or a match of 5 games, whatever it is. And then do some like cardio stuff. So I'm slowly getting back into more exercises that I used to do, which was great. Notice I'm dilly-dallying as to the negative news that I have. But I'm trying to think of good things. I went on a slide for the first time, like on a playground with these. That was fun. I crawled up a ladder, which is a big deal. Like, not like a tall ladder. Like, I was on a playground, and I climbed up a ladder to be able to go down the slide. And, you know, you're obviously holding your body weight, and I haven't done that. It's definitely not since surgery, and I was able to do that. And it was like so liberating that, like, yeah, I could do that. And then go down the slide, and on my back, because it was a closed one, which was nice. Yeah, so without dilly-dallying, so I got my period. I'm not supposed to get my period. Again, I've been on Lupron since the end of October. It is now April. I think my next Lupron is my 7th or 8th Lupron. I don't know, whatever it is. I get it every 4 weeks in a day. And my period stopped 2 days after my very first Lupron shot. I haven't had one since, and that was the end of October. And then out of nowhere, sorry if you think I'm being gross, but I just would like to share, because apparently this is the thing. I started having this like dark brown discharge, like almost like what it's like at the tail end of your period, but it lasted for like almost 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, that's a little concerning. Like, it's not a lot, but it was a little concerning. And then I got my period, and I'm like, why am I getting my period when I'm on Lupron, like, trigger? If I get my period, that means I've ovulated. Why am I ovulating? If I'm on the Lupron, my ovaries shouldn't be working anymore. And I know, like, when you're in like regular menopause, you can like go a year without a period, and then like boom, you get one, and it's like, haha, you're not really in menopause. But with the Lupron, it's a whole different story. Like, you're medically pushed into menopause. You're not supposed to, like, something's not working if you're getting a period. So after my period was like a regular period, it started getting kind of heavy, and I messaged my gynecologist, because I'm like, who do I ask? Like who's in charge? You get all these different cooks in the kitchen. And she said, she said, come in right away. That's never a good thing. It's never a good thing when they say come in right away. I'm like, okay. It was pretty quick, where they asked if there's other stuff going on. I've noticed my brain fog was coming back. I walked to a park, literally like, I don't know, 5 minutes from where I started off, and I couldn't remember how to get back. And I'm like, shit, why is this happening again? I also noticed that my upper abdominal area, like between my belly button and my boobs, is like all, not hard, but definitely sticks out more than my lower abdominal area does. These are all things that happened before surgery. And I'm like, why is this happening again? What's going on? Anyway, so I'm going in this week. So I'm sure I'll be vlogging after it's done, I think. They are doing blood work. They are doing, I ironically have my Lupron that morning because I can't skip it. I'm still taking it. They're doing blood work, they're doing an ultrasound, and they're doing a hysteroscopy, where they stick a camera up your vagina into your uterus and go peeking around. Joy, which means they have to dilate you, which is not enjoyable. I've been dilated before. Like, things aren't supposed to go up there. They're supposed to come down. Like not your vagina. I mean like your cervix. Things aren't supposed to go inside your uterus. You're supposed to come outside of your uterus, like babies and periods and stuff. So it is not a comfortable thing to be dilated. But I've done it before and whatever. But I'm just like, I'm mad that something's up. So at some point with the back and forth, my gynecologist said you should fill in the oncologist so that she knows what's going on. So I let her know, I'm like, heads up, this is what's going on, right? You know, at that point, I think my period lasted like 3 days and then pretty much, it's not even gone now. It's been almost a month now and I'm back to that brown stuff. And the oncologist responded right away and said, get off the tamoxifen. She's like, stop taking it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that tamoxifen was even like part of this whole equation. Apparently it is. And I did this thing that you're not supposed to do, which is Google, but whatever. Like, so what I Googled, and I'm not freaking out as much now because, well, I'll tell you why, but so I Googled, and I was having, I mean, whatever, we're talking fluids today. I don't have a filter really anymore. For months, I was having like this liquidy discharge. I thought I was like, you know, when you get older, you've had kids, like you laugh a little bit too much and you pee your pants a little, but it didn't smell. And I'm like, that's not pee. I'm like, why is my underwear wet? It was just like liquidy stuff. It didn't smell like anything. So it wasn't pee. It didn't smell like anything. It was just this like clear liquidy stuff. And to the point that I was just wearing a panty liner all the time. It didn't happen right after surgery, it was going on for several months. So I find out that tamoxifen, and I knew this because I reached out to the oncologist and I told her I'm having this weird discharge, whatever. And she's like, it's from the tamoxifen. Like, she didn't say don't worry about it, but like, it's from the tamoxifen. I'm like, okay, whatever. As long as it's not a problem, like, it is what it is. But I didn't realize that, and again, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer, not a doctor. I'm getting, the information I'm relaying to you is what I saw online, so grain salt. But like, there were sites like WebMD and stuff, so they were credible sites. But apparently, from what I'm understanding, and again, I could say the total opposite of this next week, even though the whole point of tamoxifen is to be an anti-estrogen therapy for cancer and stuff, when it comes to your uterus, it actually has the opposite effect, where it, I don't know if it actually like increases estrogen, but like it makes the lining of your uterus thicker, which, like, you know, is something I don't want, because if your lining is thicker, then yes, you could have things like polyps. Because they did mention to me, you know, people that are on tamoxifen sometimes get uterine polyps. And then if, you know, she's up there with the camera and she sees one, they'll go snip and take it off, like they would for a colonoscopy or something. But I'm not out for it. Like, I'm awake. I have to take Motrin before I go in, mostly because of the cramping. Like, once they dilate you, once she's in, like, I've never had a camera on my uterus before, but I have had, like, when I had my IUD in and out and stuff, like, once they're in there, it's not so bad. It's just like the opening of the cervix is just not normal, and that's why your body just starts cramping really badly. But yeah, so the tamoxifen definitely has an impact on your uterus. Of course, then I start reading that says, like, the odds of you getting uterine cancer are like 2 or 3 times as likely if you're on tamoxifen. And I'm like, great. So of course my head goes there, but it only lasted like a day, because then I got on, I follow Jen Rozenbaum. I talked about her before. Weirdly, we actually have a friend in common, which is totally random. I'd love to meet her at some point, but I'm in the middle of, my friend Victoria is a psychologist, I believe, or a therapist. Anyway, she has a show, a podcast, and a Zoom that goes with it, like, you know, since the pandemic. And she interviewed Jen Rozenbaum like a year ago about her journey. And I followed Jen Rozenbaum mostly because her surgery, like with her original surgery with her boobs, her scars looked like mine. and that's why I started following her. And I find like her stuff to just be pretty real, and I mean, she has way better hair and makeup than I do. What are you gonna do? Anyway, so she has a group on Facebook that I follow, where other people that are going through cancer treatments or whatever can post stuff. So I went on there and I said, you know, just vague, that anyone have any uterine issues that are on tamoxifen, and blah, 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 people start responding. And the people, I checked like 4 responses, there's probably more by now, but people had said that, yeah, they got polyps, they were on tamoxifen for like 2 or 3 years, and then were taken off because they started having uterine issues, like endometrial stuff going on. No mention of the C word. So that calmed me down a little bit, because these are actual people that are like on this stuff. But what's interesting is like these people had been on tamoxifen for a while, and I've only been on it for what, 7 or 8 months. Well, 8 months since surgery, so I think 7 months since the tamoxifen, something like that. But I'm learning that, you know, or learning, I should know this by now. Like everyone says, I'm sensitive. Yeah, my body is very sensitive to all this shit. So what happens with somebody else after 3 years of tamoxifen apparently happens to me after 7 months. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I just wanted to share that that's what's going on. I'm pretty chill about it now, but it is also the week before Lupron, and I've become an emotional, like, crybaby. Yesterday was not a good day at all. I just get, like, super, super emotional, like, super depressed, super sad, cry all the time, don't see, like, anything positive at all. I haven't been on the tamoxifen for 2 days now, so I wonder if that's partly why. Because usually that funk that I'm in doesn't start to go away until I've had the Lupron, and it's kicked in for like a day or 2. And then I'm like back to being like typical Jen. I've noticed that that's gotten better over time, but, well, it had been getting better over time, I should say. Last month and this month, I found myself even more emotional than I was before. I still see the oncology psychologist. And I know, because I think about my sessions with him, and I see him less frequently because there's less stuff going on. But the past couple times I talked to him, I was like really, really, really down. Yeah. So we will see what happens on Wednesday. And then I have my follow-up with plastics on Thursday, which is just interesting timing. Oh, another thing I wanted to share with you too. So yeah, that appointment that I have with plastics on Thursday of next week, that was supposed to be the appointment where we start talking about my choices of what to do about nipples. And as much as I talked in the beginning before surgery about, you know, losing erogenous zones and like the loss of not having nipples anymore, I'm not gonna get my nipples tomorrow. I'm choosing not to do that at this point. Aesthetically, it's nice that I could wear a tank top, and like if it's cold outside, doesn't even matter because you can't tell. With clothes on that are the right shape of neckline, the fact that I can go around without a bra in any kind of weather is kind of cool. So who knows? I think that I'm probably going to be getting the 3D tattooing. In the beginning, I thought I would have him like create an artificial nipple with like skin from someplace else. I'm kind of moving away from that thought, just because I don't want to do anything more physically in my body. I do still want to get my tattoo, but that's different. Not that tattoo. I mean like my wrist tattoo. But I don't think I want to do that anymore with my nipple, about creating one. It's still such a process with getting used to these foobs, that like adding on an additional like foreign thing that doesn't belong there. I don't know, but I don't think I'm in a place to make a logical decision about what to do, which is why. Like I had called plastics about something with, oh, when I had the shot from my frozen shoulder, when I had the steroid shot, I had a talk on the phone with the nurse for a bit, and she asked how I was doing, and she's like, you don't have to decide now. Like, she's like, nothing's gonna be any different. She's like, you can decide 3 years from now that you want to get the nipples put on. Like, that's totally up to you what you want to do. I'm not there yet. It's like one thing at a time. You know, I don't feel healed enough here. Like, I'm thrilled that my left arm can do what it can, and I'm happy that my right arm is getting better. I'm annoyed that it's like 9 o'clock at night and it still feels so damn gummy in here. It's like someone took a wad of gum and just went like, and then you're trying to like move it, but there's like this hardening wad of gum here. That's what it feels like. A strange thing I noticed too, I talked about my smelly pits for so long. That's gotten way better over time. I don't know why or what that's caused, but I mean, I heard it was because of the lymph nodes. I don't know why it's getting better. I did notice it got significantly better in the last month. And on the flip side of that, that's also when I started having the discharge. So I wonder if there's I would assume that there's a hormonal aspect for that with smelly pits. Because you think about like kids going through puberty, you know, middle schoolers or whatever, start to smell, you know, and I think that's similar to what was going on. And I'm just like, you know, picking up on this stuff now. Because in the past month, like I go over and I'm like, they don't smell. I've walked out of the house, gone to work without deodorant on, and like, it's not a big deal. By mistake, not on purpose. So while that was good, it was different, and it made me think that like, oh, interesting, like what's up? Also, what's up? One of my claims to facial fame is that I have I have a lot of freckles. You've seen me without makeup on. Like, I clearly have makeup on today. But I have a lot of freckles. As I've gotten older, I have some age spots thrown in, which I just like to call bigger freckles. But I started getting zits. I really don't get acne, like, rarely ever. If I have a pimple, it's like I have one pimple and one spot, and I won't have another one for like a few years or something. I had one here. I covered it up because I was at work. I had like a huge, well, I still have it. You can little see it here. But I mean, there's makeup on it, which isn't ideal, but whatever, vanity. So I had one here. I had one here. I have one down here. I don't get pimples. And again, pimples, hormones, something's going on. Like there's hormones happening, and PTSD, it's like hormones. I don't want hormones. I'm not worried so much that the cancer is going to come back. I just don't want hormones in my body because that's not working with the rest of my stuff. And us lucky women, we have all these like other parts. You know, you have the ovaries, you have your fallopian tubes, you have your uterus, you have your cervix, you have all these different parts that like, well, are they going to tell me to get a hysterectomy? Are they going to tell me to remove my ovaries? Are they going to say to keep your ovaries, get rid of your uterus, or get rid of your uterus and keep your ovaries? Is that the same thing? Whatever. I don't know what they're going to do. And my head was spinning, but I'm trying to not do that. I just wanted to share and get it out of my system. Because like when I got the breast cancer diagnosis, I'm like, didn't see that coming. And now that I'm like, you know, assuming the worst, that they call me the next day at 7 o'clock in the morning and say something's malignant, and like if it is, I will just deal. And what are you gonna do? You know, my gut says that that's not what's going on. That it probably is like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'll find out next week. I'll find out next week what's going on. Yeah, so I guess that's where I am right now. We'll see what happens. That's why I wore my dark purple lipstick, because I'm like, annoyed. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. I'm still getting foot cramps once in a blue moon. Actually, they started up again too, because they started going away. And just in the past, I would say 2 weeks. I didn't have them while I was away on that trip, but right before them, I remembered that I had foot cramps like 3 times in one day. And I'm like, what happens if it happens on the plane? Like, it's awkward to take your shoe off and like massage your foot to make it go away. But I was fine on that trip. The only thing was with luggage, like, you know, picking up my suitcase and putting it up above the overhead bins, whatever. I couldn't do that. So I asked my son to do that. And like, even if you were to travel, somebody would put your suitcase. They want you to sit down too, so somebody could, you know, put your suitcase. Even pulling it in the airport was not super comfortable, but I could still do it. Other than that, there really wasn't anything that I couldn't do, or that was really that much of a pain in the neck. I'm still wearing a crossbody purse, which is just kind of like, it's good for my shoulder to do crossbody, but then like the strap is in between my boobs by my scars, which is not comfortable. It was cold out, so I had a big jacket on. It didn't bother me too much. And then like for the plane, like normally I'd have a big tote bag and just throw my purse in it, but I can't put a heavy tote bag on my shoulder. Can't really have a backpack right now either. So that was a little awkward. I just had another bag that I looped around my my suitcase. That was kind of a pain, but other than that, it went well. Sleeping's been going better. I just don't have the best sleep habits. I'm also never hungry, which is ironic because of the weight gain and stuff. But I'm like really never hungry. Today I went to Starbucks and I got an oatmeal, pumpkin bread, and those little egg bite things. I ate the egg bite things and the pumpkin thing, and then I didn't eat again until 6 o'clock at night. I just wasn't hungry. Yeah, it's like I eat because I know I'm supposed to eat, but like I'm just not hungry. Which you'd think I'd be losing weight, but I lost a couple of pounds, but like nothing of great significance at all. I guess that's about it. All right, so I'll close up. Hey, look, a half hour, not too bad. And I'll fill you in on what's going on after I find out stuff. Oh, the hot flashes are still there because I'm actually getting one right now. And I wonder if I'm off the tamoxifen, if that means no more hot flashes, because that'd be great. And the hot flashes, like when I went away, I brought this with me. It's so obnoxious. I'm like, and I'm on the plane like this, in the airport like this. But it's like, damn, when you're hot, it's not even like I have a fever. I the other day, I didn't sleep at all the entire night. I had my window open. It was like 40 degrees outside. It's not a matter of getting the room cold. It's like my face here is hot and like this section is hot. And like I thought maybe I had a fever or something because it was like all night long. It wasn't like a flash. It was literally all night long. I was just so hot. Like my face and my upper chest were so hot. And I took my temperature. I didn't have a fever. And like the whole room could be cold, but that doesn't make this part, you know, cold. So break out the fan. This is literally from China. And yeah, this is the only thing I could do. Like I just had this next to my bed and it's still next to my bed and just kept doing this all the time. Cause it's like, not enjoyable. When I was away though, I did have them on the plane, which was tough. Like, you know, the air that comes down was somewhat helpful. But I was a little uncomfortable on the plane when the hot flashes kicked in. But anyway, all right, so I'll stop there. That's where I am now. And we'll see what happens. So I'll get this up hopefully before Wednesday. And I just ask for good juju sent my way and prayers and whatever it is not anything huge that can't like be dealt with a pretty non-invasive procedure. So we shall see. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon.